All right, I'm going to go over, before people start chatting a little bit here, about a couple things that's a misconception. All right, you don't have to do anything with your hands whatsoever. Centrifugal force will cock them and uncock them at the correct place if your hands are hanging the way they're supposed to. Okay, and that is just how they hang at their sides and the wrist bones here on top. When this happens, and you can move your body to the side with pressure, with the pressure of pressing from left, right, and back, you'll see that the angle of my arms stay the same as they are in front of my chest, like so. And as I continue to move the golf club and my elbows and my arms with my chest in front, that is what sets the golf club. So when I come back down and my weight is already going left, and then you'll see that my arms and hands, there's my, what I would consider called lag. Now, this is where people get confused. You do not have to pull the club down. You do not have to try to throw and release. You don't want to. You literally can just let the club and the weight go left and the body continue to rotate where the hands and the arms are out in front, and they'll be in the same position. Your pelvis will have shifted 6 inches or so to the left, and that's what makes the shaft lean forward and in line with the left arm, and then the club goes through. And so right there, or right here, doesn't matter, the golf club will rehinge on the other side, and I can bring it back down and the club's in front. Now this is real critical, because cocking the club like this is what the hands do. You can do a whole bunch of different things and they can flail. Now, somebody had a real interesting point, and I tried to say it. When I cock the golf club up like this, and this is what centrifugal force does with the hands. If I was to turn my body to the side, you would see that there's a little bit of a cup here, and then when I come through, there's my left hand with the club out in front, with the shaft out in front, with the hands out in front like so. And centrifugal force does that, and then the club goes through. So this is a backhanded motion that happens naturally as the body is unwinding. The golf club does this, and so there is the hand doing the backhand motion. You don't actually have to. And then from here, the right hand does go under like so, and that is the exact same as it going like this, okay? Because when I'm like this and release, my hand and my elbow angle has to extend, and there's my hand going under. So when I say that the hands just do this, that is correct. And if you do this, that is the same motion as a backhand motion this way. It's just to the side. So instead of being out in front like this, you're just down here. The angle changes from your spine angle. That's all. So you see, there you can see my right hand bending backwards, and here, and here. So there's my arms and chest moving together, and there's my right hand doing the underhand throw, and there's my left hand doing the backhand throw. So you don't have to do anything with your hands. Your hands and arms literally will follow like spokes on a wheel. Your arms will follow your chest, and your hands do not have to think about hinging and unhinging. And you guys are really going down a deep rabbit hole if you're focusing on your hands and what they can do and all of that. Because you don't have to take the golf club back like one guy said, putting stroke, and then cock your hands. You don't have to do that. That would be like trying, I'm gonna throw a ball, I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna cock my hand. Like, it just happens as a natural flow. So when the arms and the body move to the side, can you not see how my hands and my arms are just kind of almost flailing? So when people say, do you feel you pull down? No, I'm just holding on. Meaning I'm just holding on to the golf club as my body is shifting back left and unwinding. I'm not thinking about throwing or backhanding. You can think that if you want to, because that is what the left hand does and the right hand does. But if you just unwind just like that and let the club go, then you'll have all the speed that you want. I'm not ever thinking about, okay, my hands, make sure they're over their shoulder, make sure my golf club's pointed at the target. Those are all checkpoints if you want to do them. But for me, if I just feel my weight shifting and my chest and my arms working together, see, my golf club hinges up on plane as the weight goes in from right to left. I just wanted to get that out of the way before I answer any questions. You do not have to do anything with your hands if they're in the correct place. And if you're trying to find the golf club with your hands, that's a difficult place to be. And that leads you down a huge rabbit hole on YouTube and everywhere else. Okay, I will take questions now. Let's see here. I think that's all. All messages, and people will be coming on live here in a minute. And I at least kind of wanted to get that little bit out of the way. So of the hands, arms, and body and chest moving from side to side, and you can clearly see how my left hand is making the backhanded motion and how my right hand is doing this. You do not have to take your hand and try to do any kind of manipulation with it. And that's the biggest thing that I've seen so far. And most people are caring about all these things much more than what they should of literally winding up the whole side of the body and feeling pressure going from left to right, and then the club unwind and the body winding up like so. Okay, so that's the secret sauce to me. The secret sauce is where you're pushing a little bit left right before the club moves away, and then once I do that, I'm just ripping that thing back, and the golf club just goes back where it's supposed to go. We don't have any car. No, I've got a great girlfriend, and we don't have any car girls. Now, my days on cruise ships, that might be a different story. But I was a single dude then. What in the world? I have no issues whatsoever. The person literally asked me, "What do you think of blacks?" I have a black, really like best friend. So you don't like them? Well, I'm sorry. I mean, they're, you know. Let's try to use this as regular guidelines for golf. Oh my goodness gracious. Check filter. Let's see. Does the rolling of the ankles start the backswing? It can. Yes, it can. So the pressure, some people feel it where the right ankle rolls and that pushes the weight back left and back right. So literally if you roll the ankle right, then you roll it back left. So it goes right left before the club moves away. So that's the pressure that I talk about, where you could use that and feel it, like say with a bucket of water or a medicine ball or whatever. So some feel it with their knee and some feel it with their foot, but you really are rolling your foot if you feel that. So when I'm saying, you know, I'm pushing the weight this way, well, what pushes the weight this way? Well, it's my foot, it's not my pelvis or anything. So it automatically is doing that. So I'm pushing the ground with my right foot to my left and back to my right before the club ever moves away, and then I'm ripping the club away with my arms and chest and body. A great feeling for this is to feel like if somebody was standing beside you and you didn't like them and you had a medicine ball, if you just did this, you wouldn't hurt them, right? But if you shifted here and then back and then let it go, then that would hurt them. And that's kind of the same kind of motion and speed that you would have there. Yeah, so my swing thought for me is a lot of times mine is from the late Harvey Penick that I worked with, which was the bucket of water. It was just easy for me. The water is here, and it changes sometimes from side to side, but from time to time. But mine's the bucket of water, where I take the bucket and I kind of go to the side, and I kind of move it from here to here, and then I slosh it, and then I let it go. So mine is like I'm taking the water to the side and the side. So And it's because for me, it just is a nice tempo feel too. So I don't get really too crazy fast. So. Let's see, any drills for hitting heavy shots? So, all right, so hitting heavy shots first is the weight basically being on the back foot and releasing the ankle, right? So the number one thing is to practice making sure that you're shifting weight, and that is left, right before the club moves away. And then what happens is the weight then goes back left. So it's kind of like throwing a baseball. If you throw a baseball, your weight will be left, back, right, and then as your arm goes back, your weight's going this way. So a great drill for hitting fat shots or so would be put your feet together, and you don't have to even hit balls that way, but you can. And then just, so like say the club is here, you can see the club here. So get like a driver if you wanted to, put your foot here, and swing back. And as you swing back, like not at the top, but as it's like right in somewhere here, step forward. Now, people do this, they move their whole, I'm not saying move your head and foot too, but as you're swinging back, step forward and swing through, and that'll get your weight going that way. And that's a great way to feel your legs going one way while your arms are going the other. And you get more wrist cock at the top of your swing. You really don't. So what happens is you just need to relax your hands to just, as the club is swinging back, that the hands are automatically doing, you know, that set. Whereas if you squeeze it tight, so it's really horrific if you go here at the top and then try to cock your wrist. It's like two pieces. So, there, hang on. Let's see if I can scroll back down. Let's see. For people that have a bad habit of spinning torso early on the downswing and are over the top and have the dreaded chicken wing, how do you help them? Well, I get them to swing. I get them to swing better. No, just kidding. That's funny. But hey, listen, seriously. What happens is your weight transfer is just not right. So when you spin, so that means that your weight usually is going to be on your left leg at the top of your swing, and that's going to force the ground to push you and to spin and come over the top. So it's all in one. So that's the reason why, like, I would do the medicine ball or the bucket of water and kind of feel, and I would take it to the side, and you see how my weight would shift from right back to left, and then let it go. So you're going to feel more chest and arms this way. Whereas if I took this and I spun, you'd see how the golf club and the weight transfer goes back to the right and over the top you go. Does that help? Very understandable. Cool. Yeah, and the chicken wing also comes from, everybody thinks it's really a bad thing just by itself, because it's just a figure, otherwise you miss the golf ball. So when you spin your hip and your weight goes backwards, if you really release the angle right here, you literally come over the golf ball. So you've got to figure out some kind of way to make contact. And so that just actually shows you're a good athlete, because your body's so out of position and you just figured out a way to make it. It's not powerful, of course, but it's just trying to figure out a way to make some kind of contact. So practice trying to feel like the golf swing is not anything with your hands and your arms, but try to feel more chest and the upper part. This is the upper part of your arm. Actually, this is your arms and this is your forearm, but for most people to say the arm is from into the torso. So just all connected here. So when you do this and you go to the side, you'll see how your weight shifts from right back to left. Pool and golf. Mental. All right, so the guy asks us, like, I find that pool and golf have a lot of similarities, mental and physical. When I swing well, I notice it's nice and smooth. Yeah, it just allows timing, and that's your own personal rhythm. So it's not the correct answer, but for you it is. So like if I'm saying nice and smooth, then that probably allows my body to have time to wind up, and that gives my club time to relax and hinge and more club head speed and stuff like that. Where usually when people swing fast, they're going to be swinging usually hands, arms, and not letting the time for the body to respond. But you could also still, like I say, a Bryson DeChambeau who swings very fast, but uses the pressure in the ground to move the club fast. So this is the part where it's different, and you're not 100% right, because when you push the ground this way quick, then the golf club will rip back. So this is still correct and fast, whereas you're feeling more like that, okay? So the more pressure on the ground you put this way, as long as your body can hold the speed, the faster that you'll come through that way. But doesn't mean you'll score better, just means it'll go further. Is that cool? Is that understandable? But if you're playing good golf, keep doing what you're doing. Next question. And in the beginning, I did a little intro talking about the hands and the arms. Some people have some questions about what the actual role is in the hands. And there's just a lot of confusion there, where I would just tell people not to even feel like they're doing much with their hands, but then there's a lot of people that squeeze the club too tight and would just do this and say, hey, Roger said don't do anything with my hands, where I'm just wanting the hands to be just like you're walking. I just want this elbow joint and arm joint and hand joint to be free, and then you shift over and let the arms just kind of follow the torso. All right, caught up on questions so far? Guys, if you notice also too, I tendency to choke down about half an inch or so, because the bell of the club is the thickest, and so when I do that, it gives me support here at the top of the golf swing, whereas when I grip it all the way in, it wants that tendency to be in the palm, and I kind of lose that. A lot of people grip it in the palm, so definitely down more in the fingers with this pad on top. And that'll make it work correctly. Hope everybody's getting a little bit better from watching this and then seeing the differences of what I'm talking about. All right, next question as we progress. Oh yeah, and I did have one guy talk about, ask me questions about spiral lines, and how they cut through the body and all of that, and how you want this whole part of your body to feel like that this lengthens while this shortens, and when that does, the pelvis will kind of go more up, right? And so then when it pushes down, this leg and then this pelvis and this side goes up and this side bends. So great little practice drill is to get a setup and try to feel like that you're just pulling a band back to get that feeling. Now I like to feel that pressure go left, right first, left, right, because then that allows it to then feel like it's pulled this way. It automatically happens for me, you know, when I make the little bucket motion, is I'm going from here to here and then from there. So you can kind of see how my whole body is there. See, at the top of the golf swing, if I was to sit there and say, okay, does your spine angle stay the same? It doesn't, okay? Because if I took everything away and then came back from this same angle, that's how much side bend that you have to keep your head on center. Whereas a lot of people think that you keep your leg the same flex and you turn your body like this, but then that changes the upper spine that way. So when you're doing it this way and you push left, right, you'll see how the chest and the spine is here. And if I was to come back, that's how much there. And then same thing, if I push back left into the ground and unwind, you can clearly see, take my legs away and all that, that's how much spine I have this way. So spine does that. All right, let's see, oh yeah, can you please tell me about what you learned from John Redmond choking down? Sorry, there was a bunch of other questions down low and I was missing those. Sorry, I got to it. All right, so thanks for the questions. I'm getting to them in a line now. They all come in at one time. I was like, what in the world? All right, so what I learned from John Redmond about choking down is that the bell of the club is just so thick. And so when I'm here now, I have a lot of control, and just a lot of people grip here at the end. And see, that puts it in the palm. See, so for me, top of the golf swing, you can even see I don't really have the control that I'll have here. So I always choke down about a half an inch. It's not really choking down to me. Okay, face stays square to the path throughout the entire swing, or does it open in relation to the path and then close? Great question. So that's awesome. So the face actually does. It just stays square to not just your path, but your spine. See, so there, if I was to do this and move, see, my arms and my spine stay the same. I'm gonna kind of go like this so you can see I'm on my phone, sorry about that. So you see, like if I'm here and I'm tilted, then the face would be more down. If I stand up straight and I turn my body to the side, I'm here, see? So when I'm swinging the golf club back, it's actually ever so slightly here, and I'm on this angle, see? So you don't, this right here stays like this as this golf club is going just like around your body, and your hands, wrists, and forearms are making that motion along with it. See? So I'm not trying to open and close it like everybody thinks that I'm doing. See, I'm not doing opening and closing with hands like this. See, that's rolling, right? I'm making this motion here like this, so that club face stays square a long time as the right hand and arm unwind. And the back of the left hand does that. Let's see, I play good par 3 golf, but my long game stinks. Sorry about that. You probably hit down on your irons. Usually when people hit down, if your irons are okay, it's still maybe a little bit low. The club face is just a little bit shut, and it's shut by the wrist angles. So usually, if you check this, and I'm just assuming this, that your right hand is probably under, like so. And so what that does is that makes the club face be more facing the sky, and then you'll hit down. So the shaft will be more forward like this. And with an iron, you can get away with it, but with a driver, you've got to hit level to up. So it's probably your grip, if I had to say that, or you have an overly steep shoulder turn this way that you can get away with the iron, but not your driver. Any ideas on lowering the ball flight for a full swing lob wedge? I hit the ball plenty far with my driver and would like to be able to hit my 58 degrees, 100 yards full swing. Man, that's a great question too. Love that. All right, so ultimately, you probably, even though you have a lot of speed, you probably have flash hand speed. So what I mean by that is you get right here and that's great, and then you just swing the arms as fast as you can. And when you do this, look, this is wrist cock here, and then you start and your arms actually straighten right here. And now that doesn't mean that you're a good player, because then you probably hit the ball pretty straight or all the time straight, because the shaft may be slightly straight up and down or just slightly forward. But the problem of that is that's going to give max loft, okay? So you literally did flash speed with your arms, right? You're a good, probably baseball player and a good athlete with your arms. So what you have to have is you have to have the shift left where you're a little more on top of it, like so. And then can you see how my elbow is now bent here and the arm is here and then it extends? And what that is like if I have the medicine ball and I'm gonna toss it, you can see how my shift is left, and then my body is unwinding, and then I'll straighten my leg here, and then from here I extend. So what you're doing is just extending your arms early, like that, before getting down into that position. See the difference? and then extending. Big differences, but that's why. Yeah, so you come over the top. Oh yeah, I come over the top. Do you have a drill exercise to help stop this bad move? Yes, and thank you for the compliment. Okay, so technically there's no top of the golf swing. The top of the golf swing is technically where my weight, when it shifts left first and then right, before the club moves away. Now the club's on the ground and the pressure goes left, right, so that's pushing the ground. You can roll your ankle to do it or your knee, and you see I'm pushing from right to left. When I do that, the golf club goes away. Now when it goes away to about 9 o'clock, I'm already pushing my weight left. The ground's already pushing me back. So this golf club and this arm is still going back with the body while my weight is going left. So as I do that, my arms are automatically ripped down to where I can release and throw. So again, the medicine ball, a bucket of water, any of those kinds of drills are great that you can do to see. I think far too many people are static and they just go back, and then they'll try to figure out some kind of speed, and they're gonna try to have some kind of speed with their shoulder joint. And the reason why is because they've been told to keep their head still. And if you keep your head perfectly still and the chin and stuff doesn't rotate with the xiphoid process to your pubis bone, then what happens is, can you see how my weight is left over here? So I didn't have any left-right shift. And so from here, the ground's gonna push me. Ground pushes you guys one way or the other. So hell, I'm gonna use it the correct way, and the most powerful way, which is left-right before the club goes away, pushes me back left, and then actually pushes me back right to get a whip through the club. So you actually have 4 pressure shifts. I know, 4 pressure shifts in the golf swing. 5 if you actually would be hitting up with the driver. But I digress. So when you just go here, right here, and your head's right here and your weight's left, then the ground's gonna push you left, push you back right. You're gonna come over the top like that. And that other drill I talked about with the other guys, probably a good drill too, it's one of my favorite little step drills. But you start with like a driver, which I know you guys love to do, and you tee up a ball, okay? And then normal stance, and then take your foot, swing back, and as you're swinging back, take a step forward and swing and hit. That'll teach you what it feels like to have that shift. Horrible. All right, let's see. Do you pull or hit the ball with the left hand or arm, or the right hand arm? But both, like I said. So for me, I don't feel pull and I don't feel push or throw. You can, because that's the correct joints of the left and the right. And from here, but for me, the arms and the body are moving more from side to side. That's what the hands do naturally, by the way. They backhand and they do that. But I don't ever feel pull. If I feel pull, most people that feel pull will usually never release. And that people that think throw right off the bat will usually release angles early that way. They won't let the weight shift and then throw. Some do, some do. Let's see. No, it does not change. It does not change distance. Now, because he asked, does the choking down on the club change distance? Just this little bit for control. I mean, we're talking like the ½ inch or so. So once you get this correct, then for, I think it's about each ½ inch you choke down, you're shortening the circle, and all things being equal, I think it comes out to about 7 yards for every ½ inch. So it's 15 yards an inch is what you lose by shortening the circle that way. But like I said, for me, I've learned my distances with it being like 1/4 of an inch or so. You can see that 1/4 of an inch to maybe ½ an inch choke down. But and ever since I learned that, I just felt like I had more control. And I used to grip it here, and the swing was just long, and the fingers kind of wanted to come more apart. So the bell of the club is just that thick. So for me, it's just there. It's nothing too crazy, but it's enough to have control. So I don't feel like I lose any distance that way. I gain control. All right, caught up on questions, which is good. Yes, great question. So any mental trick to make my real swing finish like my practice swing. So yes, the only way that I've been able to make those solid changes cemented is by doing that in front of a mirror. Shadow has worked as well, and just going slow motion and changing the whole motor movement to where it's the same. And then so you can even close your eyes a little bit and go back and then look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm in the right spot. And then and hit balls that way and all that. But it takes some time because you're rewiring nerves really. So when you are trying to make your practice swing and your practice swing feels pretty good, it's because you're aware of where it is, and then the intent when the ball is there is you're trying to hit the ball, right? Whereas I never hit the ball, I'm literally trying to just make a motion and let the ball get in the way, right? So once you retrain your motion, then you don't have to think about it anymore. I'm definitely someone who feels the throw in motion. How can I work on delaying the throw feel to allow time for my weight to shift? Yeah, no problem. Hey, Corey. So that's the easy thing for you now. So is to not do it with a golf club, and just do it with a medicine ball. Okay. So the medicine ball, and I think I had it here, but I took it because it's in the wintertime. I'm not doing lessons here. All right. So just imagine you have a medicine ball, and you're going to throw it that way. So you would literally wouldn't do this. So your weight would shift left, right, back, and you see how my weight's going back left to throw the ball? And so then from here, I'm pushing the ground and the ground's pushing me, and now my elbow with the ball is bent here, and then the arm extends out, throwing the ball. Now with the driver feeling, you would feel like you're back more and hitting more up on it, and you're throwing the ball a little higher and quicker. And then when your weight shifts back level left with like an iron, you're gonna feel like that you're more on top of it. The other thing is that the side of my pelvis will go about 6 inches this way, which everybody thinks that's what happens first, and it's not, because and I've seen this so many, how the body works. So when the weight shifts from right, left, okay, and from here, when I'm pushing back down, right here, you'll see that my whole weight landed, and this right hip is higher, and I've got pressure on this and my pelvis. This is what you do in front of a mirror, by the way, okay? So you can kind of land and see what that would feel like, and then the ground pushes me back, which slings my arms forward. Where everybody else thinks that you're trying to come down with the arms and then go. And some people teach that, right? And that's not correct as far as kinesiology goes, right? So when you're throwing a ball, you have equal and opposite forces. So once the weight goes back, once the weight goes left, the ground pushes you back right, and the ground pushes you back left. It doesn't wait out for you because you're playing golf or golf swing or throwing a ball. You don't go, okay, shift right, shift left, and now shift left. It literally is human movement. So I'm going, that's my whole golf swing. Watch. See? And I could do it in time. So my right foot, right foot, push. Right, left, see? See what I'm saying when I say? My right foot pushes my left foot pushes my right, and then my right foot pushes my left. And when I do that, look where my elbow is, and then throw. I know that's detailed, and there's a handful of people that I think know this and are teaching this, finally, but static positions and keeping the head still and just swinging the left arm and just swinging slow, it's all old instruction, and it has a kernel of truth to it. Every great player has this trigger. Thank you there, Josh. 100% correct. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you there. A little shout out to Josh Butterfield, our club champ and great player. And I'm using his golf grip, his clubs. My clubs are at my condo. So I always appreciate him letting me use his golf clubs in my demonstration. You're welcome, Corey. I know that's got to be frustrating because you've got a lot of club head speed, but hitting the ball straight up in the air is your arms just releasing like this instead of the shifts happening where the elbow's out in front there and then it extends. So you need to feel, instead of throwing with just the right arm, you need to feel like you're actually just like throwing a medicine ball. That would be the feeling I would have for you, or a heavy object. Thank you, my man. All right, I'm caught up. Next question. Yeah, it's just coffee in there, by the way. I'm sure somebody's gonna ask me that. And if you're coming in late, remember this is all on tape, so you'll be able to get it. I know some people, I teach a lot of people in different countries, and it's probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning or something there, so. Anybody got any idea, by the way, how to make this a full screen on my iPhone from the front? That would be cool. Racking my head trying to figure that out. On my live video feeds, anyway. All right, some more. Did I miss any over here? Somebody being very rude. Let's see. Any tips on how to hit iron shots higher trajectory when needed? Well, yes. So part 1 would be to have more club head speed. More club head speed is more height, more ball speed. A lot of people will make what I consider a death move of really tilting and trying to hit up like this. And we would normally, what happens is the body can't move correctly, and you can try to hit it up, but you usually catch it thin. So all you would do is basically move the ball up just one, and you can lean the shaft ever so slightly back if you wanted to from there. But the feeling would be is that if you were feeling the medicine ball throw or those kinds of throwing feeling, then you would feel like you're just throwing it more up, because then your arm would go more up. If you're feeling underhand throw, then your arm would go finish more up. So I hate to make it say, like Sam Snead was brilliant with this, and so did Tiger. He would say, how do you hit a draw? I think draw. Or how do I hit it high? I think high. So your arm is going to go up there. So that's why the ball would then go up higher as you finish up there. And so if you were going to finish more here, wherever the shaft goes is where the ball trajectory should go, but more line drive or more up. All right, Jeff, hitting shots on the heel. Any thoughts or takeaway on this? Yep. So when you're hitting it on the heel, on average, the shaft is coming in from behind you a little bit, like so, and going out towards so you're catching it thin and on the heel, I'm assuming. You could answer me that question. So let's see. Hey, Portugal. Thank you, man. Thank you, Rich. Yeah, just trying to see if you're hitting it on the heel. Oh, heavy. Okay. Yeah, so never mind then. So you actually then are doing the total opposite. Most people would think that then it would be coming from inside, but you could still hit it fat from in here. But on average, most people will be, you're losing the angle. I'm trying to do this in a way where you can see it. So what's happening is you're losing this angle, and when you lose the right wrist angle, the club then comes out over the ball. And when it comes out over the ball, you'll hit it in the heel. So it looks like this, and your forearm kind of rolls like that. And usually why that is because your weight is left at the top of your swing, the ground pushes you back right, and now you've got to square the club face up, and you're going to hit it in the heel, and you're going to hit it heavy. So the step drill will be great, where you have the setup and you swing and you step. That's a 1. You can feel the weight transfer if you wanted to with that. And I have another one, if you want to go slow, just to kind of retrain what your hands and arms as they go with the body, is 2 clubs is a great drill. I've always liked this drill where I mimic the bucket of water feel where my arms and chest are going to the side. And you'll see that to do this correctly where the shafts don't cross and click. So I'll do it incorrect and show you. So you get like pretty much the same length club. I think I got the wrong one. But so if I keep my head real still and just swing my arms back, you hear it. You'll see that they'll click because your left hand and arm goes one way while your right arm goes another. So when your arms and chest are together, the golf club can go back. And at the top of the golf swing, you'll see that they are parallel, the same to each other. So then when you have the right, left, and shift back, see the golf club will be on your toe line here. Wrists are still hinged, square, and then through and release. Totally different than what you're currently doing. Does that help, Jeff? Good. Can I give more details? Oh, about your membership subscription. Yep. 4 sessions per month. That's right. So a little more information about info. Sure, absolutely. So each week you would, on the app, you would be on, like I would send you a link, so it's to my coach's app, and on the OnForm site, and you would record a video of whatever your swing would be, and then I'll do a voiceover, which means just literally just looking at your video and just telling you what I see and breaking it down, and then I'll make like one of these videos, I'll make a live video saying, hey, look, this is what we're talking about you're doing with your hands or your body, and then I'll show you what it's supposed to feel like, and this is your drill. And that's what I want you to do. And then you can chat with me a few times, or there's not a limit to that. You can chat me and ask me any questions you want. And then you send me a video the next week, something that you worked on. Now, I've had people send me a video 3 or 4 days later because they're like, ooh, I really feel like I'm getting closer to do this. And I'm like, sure, send it to me. It's like, it's not really I'm trying to make you guys better. I just don't want you guys like overdoing it, like, a whole bunch of different ones. But that to me is basically once a week, being able to me be your coach and to see you making the progress, and then to see because nobody's going to be able to tell you every single thing that you do in the one lesson first. And if I give you, say, a drill and, hey man, that doesn't work, that's fine, no big deal. I know then I just scratch that off the list, and then, hey, this is what we need to work on now, and this is like your real cancer. So I hope that clarifies. And you literally just sign up, subscribe, and it's just a monthly thing that you can cancel anytime. Hope that helps. Okay, Southpaw Johnny. Okay, cool. I got 2 questions. All right, so Southpaw Johnny, how much hinge angle at address do you recommend? I just want my hands to hang just like they are in basically your human anatomy. So when I do that, you see how my wrists will hinge up and down? That's as much wrist hinge as they both will have. The left hand does the backhand and the right hand does the underhand when they move from side to side with the body. But if you change that angle, you now change forearm angle, you now change arm angle, you change shoulder socket rotation and all that. And that doesn't mean that doesn't work, but now you have to make manipulations and spend a lot of time on YouTube and trying to figure it out. Whereas if you just have your hands and arms hanging and the body and arms move from side to side, the wrist cock will happen naturally. All right, so talk about head movement, okay? So the chin, xiphoid process, pubis bone. The back of your neck is your swing circle center. So this would be moving the swing circle offline. My chin rotates fully, but the back of my neck stays in the same place. It's just rotating like this. So this is really critical that this happens. So when this happens, you'll see my eyes are now looking this way. So a lot of people will never see this, is that your head rotates right, but your eyes track back left. And the back of your neck is still intact, circle center. So then, look how much that helps my shoulders now move and my chest and my spine. Whereas if I put my head back here, see my eye line? I can't move my shoulder any further than this because my chin has not done that. Now I'm not telling you to do this, I'm telling you to move your head off the ball because that circle center back here just rotates like this. The other part of this too is that for maximum speed, can you see? Now again, I've done this shit in a mirror so long that my chin and every great player automatically does this. Did I do this early on in my career? No. I mean, this is things that I've learned through time. So this right here just goes together. So then when my weight goes back, is going from right, left, and back, left, you'll see how my chin is in line here. It's in line here. It's in line here. Now, where is that not mean then? My chin is not here. My chin is not back behind my xiphoid. This would be hanging back and pressures back on my right foot too much in a hand flip. See, I hardly ever hit hooks because what happens is my chin and xiphoid and pubis bone is all together, so that allows my wrist to be in line, elbows to be bent, and then you'll see my chin continues to rotate. So it continually stays in line with the spine. How to ruin a good walk. Well, golf is like walking. So that's not true. So if you want to make a walking motion and just let your hands and arms go and the golf club literally would just follow back and forth, you can do that too. So let's see. At impact, do you uncock the wrist completely? I read the term knuckles down. Again, Rich, I don't think about it. So here's the reason why is centrifugal force will literally do this. My elbow, by the way, is not straight locked. This wrist joint and this wrist joint and this elbow joint is relaxed. So just like when you walk, your arm is relaxed. So when I take this back to the side, my elbow has a slight angle, my wrist is fully relaxed here. So when I come back and my weight shifts back left, and of course it shifts back left earlier than that, but for me purposes I'm showing you this, is my body is unwinding and you can see my elbow is bent here. Then from right here, it snaps straight. I'm not pulling it, that would be manually doing it, and that would be slower. So this actually speeds and snaps by centrifugal force at the ball. While the same thing is, the right wrist and elbow joint is up here, and as it's unwinding, this hand is doing this right after impact, and this elbow is being from bent to straight, all at the same time. Watch. So all these joints are unwinding at the same time. So when that happens, boom, you got an explosion of the golf ball. So that, I do not ever want you to think about uncocking your wrist, because usually you will do this, and that's hand and arm driven. Let's see. Okay, could you please go over the figure 7 move with the left arm from the top of the swing impact? Sure, Dan. So figure 7 is basically make it look like this, okay? So my arm is like a spoke on a wheel with the chest, and when it moves, you see how my weight stays on my right here and then pushes back left. And when it pushes back left, that arm is still right out in front of the chest, see? So, and I'll do it with a golf club so you can see. So when I'm shifting back left, again, it happens earlier. See, my body now is winding up and my left leg posts right here. See, now I can't go any further. So my body will actually stall for a little bit here as the golf club then whips through and then the body goes. So watch here as it shifts back. So I'm gonna do it kind of slow. And you can see how the arm and the figure 7 stay, and then centrifugal force takes the elbow joint and the hand joint and snaps it while the right hand and arm does that all together. You're welcome, Rich. Does that make sense? See, to me, the figure 7 and I need to say this, first of all. This is not my golf swing. So if somebody says I'm doing the Roger King golf swing, please don't ever say that. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as a Mike Austin swing, and there's no such thing as a Jim McLean swing or anybody. It's literally just how do the joints move. Now, the instructor that you heard might have said that, but in the way that they're relating it, you can see it. So if I said, take a bucket of water from the Lake Harvey Penic and swing it to the side, and if I said, okay, make that same motion now, feel the figure 7, and I put that on film, it's the same. See, the chest only can move in a certain way. Your knee joint can only move in certain ways. And your wrist joints can only move in certain ways. So the human body hasn't changed, right? So therefore, when you study, say, kinesiology and you study the human movement part, then you don't have to make it like that. So what I have a problem with is that people are kind of, there's something that hey, I need you to turn your hand down and then take the club back where it's shut and then turn your body and squat and block and do that. Now I have a problem with that because that's not as efficient. And you can still do that and still play good golf if you wanted to, but this right here is going to take a long time to get, whereas human body movement is from here to here, and I don't have to even think about anything, and the ball will go straight. If I stop and freeze frame right here, I'm at impact, my pelvis is moved correctly, because my knees and pelvis and joints moving correctly while my spine is moving correctly because my head moves correctly. I hope that is clear. All right, see, so the other part of this, and this is you don't get better, and I tell people, you do not have to hit golf ball after golf ball after golf ball in the range, because usually people are trying to figure out how to make contact with the ball to make it go out there. I'm retraining the motion, so I want you to focus on, and the reason why my membership is doing, I think, pretty well, and Zooms do pretty well, is because I kind of like fix where is your cancer movement. Like, I know it's such a strong word, and sorry, I lost a lot of people with that. But if you twist your body like this, and this is a very, very bad move, right? Then I'll say, okay, listen, this is the correct sequence of movement that I want you to practice. But you hitting lots of golf balls and doing this, and then you're trying to figure out where your hands go. It's a and I see it all the time, and it's a hard thing to watch. Let's see. let's see, VJ. All right, at impact, your shoulder, is it square or slightly closed? So it's definitely not closed for me. So closed meaning pointed out to the right like this. So this would be square or parallel to my body line, and this would be closed, and this would be open. So I'm just down the line, as you can see. Shoulders aren't really from here with that knee going. They'll be ever so slightly open because the spine is. So if I go from side to here and my weight shifts back left here, you'll see that my chest stalls right here, okay? And you can see that my shoulders are open here as I'm coming through. My shoulders down like so. Now I'm going to do it this way so you can kind of see it a little bit without a golf club, okay? So I'm making the shift back left, back right, and you can see. So when you can see more of the backside and my spine, you can see how that golf club is now, that will be closed. So if you're closed here, you're going to have to flip your hands. So even if I was drawing the golf ball, I would never want my shoulders to be close to the target line because I'd have to flip. So even if I was drawing a golf ball, I'd still be open here. This right elbow and hand is bent here, and this shaft leans forward, and then the club extends. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate you. And leave comments if you want to end this, if you have any questions. And I make videos off of that, off the suggestions that you guys give me. And it seems like I have a never-ending supply. You're welcome. All right. Doing fine. I'll stay on there just a little bit longer. Hopefully people that watch this then can ask me questions. They can go to the rkswingking.com for info on the said memberships. And then also, of course, I do Zoom lessons all the time, one-on-one. I have package deals. They make a great, not just a great gift, but I mean, I help a lot of people that way. Hey, Tony, when you raise the forward foot in the backswing, should you come up on the toe? Yeah, a little bit, because, I mean, if you think about it, if I literally push my ground and push up, then my weight's going to be more on my whole right leg here, and the only pressure of the left foot's going to be that toe. So remember, it goes left, right first before the club moves away. So as your toe is coming up, the ground in the right leg is pushing you and pushing pressure in, if you can't kind of see it. But so I'm gonna go, look, left, right, the foot comes up, okay? When the foot comes up right here, the ground, actually, I can't stay there, because when I put too much pressure on my right, my left calf will crap up, right? So these are all movement patterns that happen. So when you go left, right, and the toe goes up, the pressure goes, that left foot pushes down. And how does the left foot push down? This is an interesting thing. When you get to the top like this, you don't just push the foot down. That's what everybody thinks. But what happens actually is when you go left, right, and at the top, your right leg is actually pushing your foot down. And that sets your weight there, and then the club whips. But yes, you will. You will go up and you will feel pressure on your left toe. Does your left leg go into extension right before impact to assist in opening the hips or power? Great question. That's awesome. Okay, so it depends on the shot. So I know that what? So when you're hitting say a driver and I go left, right, and then back left, and now I'm going to have maximum speed with, say, if this was a driver, the ground would be pushing me and I would be throwing it really fast. That's when my 135 or 40 mile an hour goes at it like this, and then from here the leg would push me and I would extend back like so, and then and if I swung as fast as Kyle Berkshire or whatever, then the leg, that's what makes the leg go zipping back. So it doesn't just extend, it literally is the ground pushing you, and when the ground pushes you, the golf club then whips. But I would never want that to happen on an iron. So I want my weight to be left, right, back, left, like I'm sitting into it, and then feeling like that I'm staying more on top of it like that. So, and I did a video where it was like the 3 different releases. So if you want to go back to watch that, it was 3 different releases, but for me, it's like feeling that medicine ball. If I was going to take a medicine ball and throw it really far away from me, my leg would go that way. And if I was just throwing it more like slowly with a wedge, it would literally be just level. And if I was throwing it with an iron, I'd feel more pressure in my left, and then my arms would be lower. Great question, though. Yep, just rewatched your weight on a string video, hitting wedge through driver. Very hard to see your weight shift forward motion first. Yeah, it is, because I'm, this is a one-man operation. I think that was I don't say one of my first videos, but I think it was my first outside video. And so when you swing, it's the same, okay? So it's how your brain sees this stuff. So if I literally said I'm swinging a weight on a string, what am I doing? Well, I'm not starting from a dead standstill. So if this was now, let me flip it around. So if this was a weight here and this is a string, and I threw this forward, then you should be able to see this. My weight is going where? To my left. And then I put pressure back right, and then I swing the weight over my shoulder this way, and wherever the club goes is where your weight goes. And now my weight's going back left, and then back right, and then I'm releasing. So the weight on a string is a great feel. I've played really good golf with that feel sometimes as well. It's the same, believe it or not. There's probably a little more softness in the wrist and a little more visual in your mind of really like snapping the rope kind of thing with the weight. But you never want to start from a dead standstill on any golf swing. You want to have force before motion. And there's force before motion, guys, even on putting. And I'm going to get into that. I got a cool new putter on its way. And when it gets here, then I'm going to make a video talking about how weight transfers with it in good detail, like on a putting green or putting mat or something like that. So I hope that kind of helps there. Ooh, let's see. You're welcome. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Roy. My videos and set zooms are making him better. I appreciate that. Let's see. So my last question is from the top of the swing. Are you on turning your right wrist, so-called spin the meatball to start the downswing? All right, Dan, I'm kind of losing you on the question, but I'm thinking you're saying, am I spinning the right wrist? So yes and no, okay? And I know that's like a backward answer, but I'm so soft in my hands that all I'm doing is just responding to the weight. So when I'm responding to the weight here, you can see that my hands are, the wrist actually, let me go slow for a second. Say I'm gonna answer this twofold. So I'm gonna go left, right, club goes away. Now I want you to see where my golf club is. I'm kind of backing up this way for a little bit, okay? So as you can see, my wrist haven't really, see it's still kind of cocking here. Now the club and the weight's going left. And then when I shift back left, I have more wrist cock here, because as that golf club is set, my weight is going back left. And can you see, so my hands are so soft that the club sets, almost Sergio-ish, as some people would say, but it's not that. It's not like that. That just, I'm going slow. See, so that is increased as it comes down. And then from here, obviously my right elbow is going from bent to straight, and my left elbow is going from bent to straight, and my hand is recocking on the other side with rotation this way, while my right hand is doing that. But all that happens by centrifugal force. If I said I'm doing all that, and if you watch, can you see how my weight goes right, left, and I didn't even think about any of the stuff that's happening up here. Yeah, that's great, Beach. Good. Yes, that's 100%. So for me, and you can make this as slow or as fast as or subtle as you want. So yeah, there it is. There's my. He asked, can you show me how you make that millisecond move at a dress before to start your swing? And is that a forward press? It is not a forward press with my hands. Okay. So my hands are soft, and so when I push, you'll see that little bit, and it doesn't take much. Now, some people, when they do this, they really overdo this, and that's not, you can see I'm moving my head, and that swing circle center is gone, right? So it's just that. And I know you're like, what is that? That's just fractional. And what's doing it? My right leg and my right foot pushes my left. Again, for me, because of the speed and power that I have, I temper it a little bit with a visual of the bucket of water, and all I do is feel like I have a bucket of water in my hands, and I just kind of push the bucket forward. When I push the bucket forward, that pushes my ground and my weight left and then back right. That's just my visual. I've also had a visual before where if that's not, I'm not feeling that I feel my right ankle roll to the target slightly first, and then my left, and then my right. And then I've also had swinging a weight on a string where the weight is feeling like it's out in front of me here, and then it's whipping back and through. So these are all little just mental things. And I've actually put that on film with those swings and saying like, okay, this should look different, and it doesn't look any different whatsoever, like in any spot. So it's just what the brain is. And that's also showing that whatever that you train your body to do, then you're gonna be a victim of that motion. That's not nice though. Why do Steve Pratt's legs look like noodles? I mean, he's been doing this a long time, and I got a lot of respect for him. So I'm not, as you age, you lose muscle mass. So you've got to train more. And kudos to him because he teaches so much. I got to think it takes a lot out of us that you then have to have times where you go into the gym and, you know, I'm sure he's married and kids and everything else. So thanks, John. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Your info is gold. Thanks, man. Thanks for clearing up some questions I had. That's awesome. Yeah, great. Let's see. Do I square my right foot parallel to the target line? Great question, Jeff. Not perfectly. So I've always been to the feeling of however that you walk and however that your stride is where you'll be. So for me, and I don't know if you can kind of see it all the way out here or not, but see, mine's just a little bit out. Now, you can play tricks here. If I did do this, then I'm stopping, and let's talk about the anatomy of this stuff. So hopefully you guys can see this enough. I know it's from knees here, but your knees and your ankle joints work. So if my foot is square, my knee would be in, right? And so when I did the pressure shift, it wouldn't allow me to get further back in my right, for one, and two, my knee would be more internal here like this, and I just feel like there's pressure there that I don't like. I like to feel like natural, and I like to feel my whole point of it feels. There's a bone in the foot called the cuboid bone, and you want to put pressure on that. And so for me, squaring it up puts more glute and internal pelvis and hip rotation. So also it shortens the swing. And then if you go with your left foot way out, it'll help clearance, but it'll also make your left knee not ever all the way load up. So if you want to shorten your swing, square your right foot up and open up your left toe. Oh yeah, that's what Ben Hogan did. So that's why he swung shorter. See, now I'm gonna make that same swing that I do with that position of the left toe and all that, and watch the difference. I'll do shift, 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 and you can see, look, my left knee never wound up all the way, see? So with this foot's being more natural, and I make that motion. That allows this left knee to swing in more, which allows my spine to move more, and it gives me more length, okay? So, detailed question, or detailed answer. I mean his leg movement in the swing. I didn't see that. What was the first part of the question there, Tony? I mean his leg movement in the swing. Well, and Tony's is one of my clients, and so I know what he does. So the tendency there is to just kind of stay a little still. So I'm wanting the torso to move, and I want the foot to move, and I want the weight to be right, and I want the arms to be here a little bit more, and more freedom in this pelvis area and knee. So the reason why how this moves is not up here. See, now, this is real cool to see, okay? So great question, all right? You can see I move my shoulders and upper torso like this. This is about as far as I can go. And that's what most people do in their golf swing. That's about as efficient as it gets. Where this moves. Now, how does this move? So if I just move the belly button by itself, you'll see that it only does that, okay? So that's not true. So how does this pelvis actually move? It moves through the ankle joint. When it moves through the ankle joint, the knee. And when the knee moves, that moves the pelvis, see? And that allows the spine to move. There you go. So that's why that's so critical. I mean his leg movement and swing. His leg movement and swing. Oh, noodles. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. I got you. Okay, so great question. So now he uses even more compound. So this is really cool. Great question. So what he does is he kind of presets even a little bit more behind. I'm talking about Stephen Pratt here for a second and Mike Austin. So presets pretty hard. So when they preset this, then he pushes the ground, and what happens is his pelvis really goes up. Okay? And so when his pelvis really goes up, then when he pushes the ground, his pelvis really goes left, and he could literally just pick his whole foot up here, and then when he swings through, he has a big, and then his legs are kind of noodly like that. So what you're kind of saying. Yes, that's what you're saying. Again, I'm not talking bad about him whatsoever, and I've learned a lot of the human movement through Mike Austin. Oh, that's a great question. When does your core muscles engage on the takeaway and or the downswing? Right off the bat. First of all, when you're standing, your core's, usually just engaged. So you don't like tighten it up and try to move it, right? So the thing is, if I'm moving a weight, so let's just say that this was a 100-pound kettlebell or a ball, and I shifted left, right, my core is moving. So if I was just completely relaxed, let's see if I can relax and do it. Okay, I'm not engaged at all. So you have to keep the structure, right? So for me, engagement means that if I have this weight out in front of me, and for me to keep my arms the same radius as I shift left, right, like this, and then back left, my whole body is engaged. I feel my butt and all that stuff. When I swing a little bit too fast, my left hamstring will kind of have a tendency to lock up because it just, and I'm 52 years old, so, but I'm working on it. Let's see. Yep, and that does bring a great point too, about the human body and mobility and strength and all of that, is that the more that you have equal and opposite muscles, right? So for instance, if your psoas muscle is really tight, well, then on average, then your hamstring and your lower back has to hold more weight, or it's going to be weaker. So just because it's tight doesn't mean you have to stretch it. It means that you probably need to strengthen it. So strength training is an integral part of this, and also isolated human movement things. So when you're doing this with a golf club or a weight, try to feel what all of this feels like. And if you get to the top and you're like, I'm restricted, try to feel what it feels like with the leg and the body moving this way, okay? And I will be talking about some fitness stuff coming up in some of the videos, and some of the drills and things to do to unlock things, okay? So I've got some stuff in the works. I know that's, again, a detailed answer. So, favorite warm-up stretches. Yeah, so, and I mean, I hate to make it sound like I'm like a Jack Nicklaus fan, but I love what he does when he kind of puts it behind his back and you know, with a golf club, and just kind of gets the feeling of everything kind of loosening up. And what that is because you got to make sure that your spine can move easily. I'll use the Theragun to get some blood to flow. I also take nitric oxide and creatine with a little bit of like that, with like a pre-workout before I play, because, and I can't remember the last time I played though, guys. I mean, I play 5 or 6 times a year, so you're asking me before I play. Just trying to tell you what I would do if I was playing all the time. Nitric oxides get the blood to flow, so I use actually like supplements that way for doing that. And then I'll take a golf club or so and just try to stretch it this way and this way. Also, I'll try to do some eccentrics, which I know I was going to talk about a little bit of this, but he asked the question. Eccentrics is like feeling like that your arms are just kind of relaxed and you just kind of make nice loose movements and stuff. And I know it might look kind of weird, but I'll like move my arm around like so, and then I'll kind of go down and I'll touch and all that. So, because I want loose, pliable muscles before I swing a golf club. So, and Miranda Esmond White, really good classical stretch that's free on PBS, or she has a website called Eccentrics TV, which I think is good, and it's, you know, it's for people as they get older to move their body freely and not have any aches and pains. That's helped me some too. All right, Dan, what do you suggest for achieving the best tempo in the golf swing? That's its own personal preference. I got to feel everything's a little bit different sometimes. I mean, if you have a tendency to walk like this, you probably have a tendency to swing like this. So I would try to match what your tempo of your natural like walking rhythm is, would be one. Like I said, it's one for me that I can start going faster and faster and kind of swing a tempo like Bryson DeChambeau and go faster, but I also doesn't make I'm a better player. So for me, as a score wise, I always feel the bucket of water, because for me, I like to not slosh the water so much and just nice and move it, but I still have the proper shifts, and that allows my muscles and everything in time to just have a nice flow. And you know, and those are my, you know, chippy speeds and stuff when I'm just, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to kill it or anything, and just trying to, and that's how I score, because it's good rhythm that way. But usually a great way is to, and when I talked about swinging like you walk, so you have a hard time feeling that motion, then just what do you feel like when your right ankle rolls and left ankle rolls and right ankle rolls? So you go like right, left, right. And so there's only a certain amount of speed that you can do that with, right? So hope that helps. I know that's kind of tough to do without like seeing your swing. I think most people swing slow on their backswing, very slow, too much, and it's just hand and arm driven like this, and they don't engage the shifts of the ground of left, right before the club moves away. That's really the secret sauce to all of this. Once your hands and arms are relaxed, you get the little pressure going left, right before the club moves away. So it's not left and then right with the club moving away. It's left, right, and then the club moves away, because then the ground's pushing you back left while the arm's going that way. I can't stress that one enough. Like, every great player does that, and every bad player doesn't. All right, a few more questions. I know I went over a little bit on time. But I enjoy this. I enjoy making you guys better. Try to spread the word, like and subscribe. Love to help all of you guys one-on-one, of course, or my membership site. Come see me in Nashville, Tennessee. A couple more questions, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Make it a good one. All right, so like I said, I think I'll go ahead and just wrap this up. I appreciate everybody for being on this. I hope I helped everybody do the mirror work, go through, watch my other videos as well, and try to relay your and rewire your myelin and the muscles and the nerves. I'll have more material coming up. Kind of really excited about a new project that I'm working on, and I'll be able to disclose a little bit of that coming up in the next week or two. I'm trying to keep you guys getting better and better. All right. Everybody have a great day or a great night here. Take care.